the most expensive cities expats are relocating to, and where you should move instead. Welcome to Dream Expat Destinations, where we help you navigate your global relocation dreams with clear, practical advice and, of course, some money-saving tips. Let me ask you this. Have you ever fantasized about living in Paris, London, or Singapore, only to take one look at the cost of living and think, maybe I'll just stay where I am? You're not alone. Expats, especially Americans, are moving to cities all over the world, some glamorous but painfully expensive. But what if I told you that for every high-cost dream city, there's a more affordable alternative that offers a similar experience? Today, I'm going to share the most expensive cities expats are flocking to and break down where you should move instead. Whether you're planning your first international move or looking to escape high costs abroad, this guide is for you. Oh, and before we dive in, if you're serious about relocating and leveling up your expat life without breaking the bank, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss the tips I've got in store for you in future videos. What you'll learn in this video: 1. The top 5 most expensive cities expats are moving to. 2. Affordable alternatives to these pricey cities. 3. Real stories from expats like you. 4. Actionable tips on how to make the smart choice for your next move. 1. Paris, France. Why expats are drawn to Paris. Ah, la belle Paris. Who wouldn't want to sip espresso at a sidewalk cafe, stroll along the Seine, and take in the art and history that surrounds you? Expats love Paris for its rich culture, vibrant art scene, and, let's be honest, Instagram-worthy lifestyle. In fact, the idea of moving to Paris often feels like a scene straight out of a movie. But the harsh reality? Paris is expensive. The reality of living in Paris. Rent alone is a huge factor. A decent one-bedroom apartment in the city centre can cost you anywhere between $1,800 to $2,500 per month, depending on the neighbourhood. And let's not forget the groceries, dining out, and those tempting pastries that add up. I remember reading a story from a forum where an expat said she was eating way too many baguettes and cheap wine because she had to save money somehow. The novelty of baguettes wore off fast when her bank account started feeling the pinch. Where you should move. Instead, Lyon, France. Don't get me wrong, Lyon is no Paris, but it's got its own charm and is a lot easier on the wallet. Often called the gastronomy capital of France, Lyon is a beautiful city with cobblestone streets, vibrant food markets, and a lower cost of living. Rent here can be 30 to 40% cheaper than in Paris, and the city is incredibly walkable. Plus, it's only a 2-hour train ride from Paris, so you can visit any time you need your fix of the Eiffel Tower. 2. Singapore. Why expats are drawn to Singapore. Singapore is sleek, modern, and known for being one of the safest cities in the world. The job market is booming, the healthcare is top-notch, and English is widely spoken. So, it's no wonder that expats find themselves drawn to this city-state. In the forums, there are countless stories of people being wooed by lucrative job offers and the allure of a tropical metropolis. But, surprise, surprise, Singapore is also one of the most expensive cities on earth. The reality of living in Singapore. Housing costs in Singapore are astronomical. A 2-bedroom apartment in the city can easily set you back $3,500 or more per month. And don't even get me started on car ownership. It's almost unattainable for the average person due to the sky-high costs of permits and taxes. One expat shared how they were shocked to learn that owning a car could cost as much as an additional $80,000 up front, not including the price of the vehicle itself. This is definitely not a place to live if you're on a budget. Where you should move. Instead, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. For a similar experience, head to Kuala Lumpur. Just a short flight away, Malaysia's capital offers many of the same perks as Singapore: modern infrastructure, English-speaking locales, a vibrant expat community, but at a fraction of the cost. Rent for a comparable apartment? About $1,000. You'll still have access to great healthcare, incredible food, and a diverse, thriving urban environment without the financial burden. 3. Zurich, Switzerland. Why expats are drawn to Zurich. Zurich is often ranked as one of the most livable cities in the world. It's clean, safe, and has breathtaking landscapes right on your doorstep. Expats, especially those in finance and tech, love the high salaries and efficient public transportation. If you're imagining a life of skiing in the Alps on weekends and sipping hot chocolate at lakeside cafes, Zurich might be on your radar. The reality of living in Zurich. The catch? It's ridiculously expensive. A coffee alone can cost $5. Rent for a 2-bedroom apartment easily reaches $3,000 per month. And if you're looking to eat out, brace yourself. Meals average around $25 for something basic. I once read a post from an expat who said, "I've had to learn how to cook everything from scratch just to afford living here. And I didn't even know how to boil an egg before I moved." While salaries are higher, the cost of living can quickly eat away at those gains. Where you should move instead: Lisbon, Portugal. Lisbon offers a slower pace of life, great weather, and a cost of living that's significantly lower than Zurich. You'll still have access to gorgeous European landscapes, history, and culture without the hefty price tag. Expats are flocking to Lisbon for its laid-back lifestyle and excellent quality of life. Rent for a 1-bedroom apartment in the city centre? About $1,000, less than half of Zurich's average. 4. London, UK. Why expats are drawn to London. London is a global city that's hard to resist. It's got world-class museums, theatres, dining, and business opportunities. Plus, there's no language barrier for expats, which makes the transition a bit easier. I've seen countless forum posts from people who are captivated by London's energy. Like one user who said, "I fell in love with the history, the architecture, and the sheer buzz of the place. I knew I had to move here." The reality of living in London. London is one of the most expensive cities in the world, especially when it comes to rent. A modest 1-bedroom apartment in a central area like Soho or Shoreditch can cost anywhere from $2,500 to $3,500 per month. And let's not forget the public transportation fares that also add up. Many expats share stories about the London squeeze, where they're paying for the location but sacrificing living space. Tiny flats, no closet space, and a shared bathroom down the hall for $3,000 a month? Not exactly the dream. Where you should move instead: Edinburgh, Scotland. Edinburgh offers many of the same perks as London: English-speaking locals, a rich history, and a vibrant arts scene, but at a much more reasonable price. Rent is about 40 to 50% cheaper, and you still get access to great job opportunities, especially if you're in finance or tech. Plus, the natural beauty of Scotland is right at your doorstep. I once read about an American expat who moved to Edinburgh after London and said, "I felt like I got my life back. I had space, nature, and I wasn't broke by the end of the month." 5. Tokyo, Japan. Why expats are drawn to Tokyo. Tokyo is a fascinating blend of ancient culture and cutting-edge technology. Expats are drawn to its unique way of life, excellent public transportation, and low crime rate. The job market, especially for English teachers and tech professionals, is a huge draw. I once saw a comment from a fellow expat who said, "Tokyo felt like stepping into the future. Everything was so efficient, and I never felt safer." The reality of living in Tokyo. Despite its many perks, Tokyo can be quite expensive, especially in terms of housing. a 2-bedroom apartment in a desirable neighborhood like Shibuya can cost over $3,000 per month. Another challenge expats mention is the language barrier. While many locals speak some English, not being fluent in Japanese can make day-to-day tasks like banking or grocery shopping tricky. One expat shared a story about getting stuck at an ATM because the instructions weren't in English. Awkward. Where you should move? Instead, Osaka, Japan. Osaka offers a similar vibe to Tokyo, but at a lower cost. It's known for its friendly locals, great food scene, and more relaxed pace of life. Rent is around 30 to 40% cheaper than in Tokyo, and the city still has excellent public transport and job opportunities. Plus, you'll find it easier to connect with other expats, as Osaka tends to have a more tight-knit community vibe. Let's recap the most expensive cities we covered today and their more affordable alternatives. 1. Paris, move to Lyon instead. 2. Singapore. Consider Kuala Lumpur for a similar vibe. 3. Zurich. Swap it for Lisbon. 4. London. Try Edinburgh for a cheaper UK option. 5. Tokyo. Look at Osaka for a more affordable Japanese city. I hope this video gave you some food for thought if you're thinking about relocating internationally. It's all about finding the right balance between your dream city and a place where you can afford to live comfortably. Before we go, here are some quick tips. 1. Do your research. Don't just follow the crowd to the big, famous cities. Use expat forums, Facebook groups, and blogs to gather insights from people who've been in your shoes. 2. Visit before you commit. If possible, spend at least a few weeks in your prospective city to get a feel for the cost of living and local culture. 3. Consider nearby alternatives. As we discussed today, there are often cities just a short train or flight away from your dream destination that offer a much lower cost of living. 4. Set a budget. Know what you're willing to spend and stick to it. It's easy to get swept up in the allure of a city, but financial stability is key to a happy expat life. If you enjoyed this video and want more practical advice on expat life, hit that subscribe button. We've got tons of valuable content coming your way, from budgeting tips to expat success stories. And if you've already relocated, drop a comment below to share your experience, especially if you found a great affordable alternative to one of the expensive cities we covered today. Until next time, happy planning and happy moving.